Shai, in that fourth quarter, seemed like neither team really had a rhythm. Just a lot of isolations, that kind of thing. What's it like playing in those types of games? They're late, and what are some keys for you all if you get into those types of kind of in the mud games moving forward?
Yeah. The game gets slower late game. Execution matters more. Well, like in those moments when the game slows down, it usually comes down to your best players making shots and making plays, and I didn't do a good enough job of that tonight, and I think that's the main reason for the outcome. So I think it's more so that than anything, to be honest.
You mentioned that you feel like you didn't do a good enough job of that, specifically in the fourth quarter and overtime. Well, you didn't take a shot in overtime, but in the fourth quarter, were you sort of satisfied with your offensive process and the team's offensive process? Like, what did you see there?
Yeah, a few of the shots felt good, more than a few. They didn't go in, obviously. But it ultimately felt like a lot of settling for jump shots. And I always say, like, jump shots, the consistency of jump shots always goes up and goes down. Like, you get hot some nights you miss. But the most reliable thing is the paint in the rim. And I don't think I did a good enough job again to that late game. Now there's probably various reasons why, and myself and the rest of the team will figure out why for the next situation. But I think I for sure could have been better.
No, it's not this simple, but and Dub's buckets, it felt like they came within the flow. Like, that's fairly normal. But he was cooking before you came in, and then it feels like for a while he didn't get a shot up. Do you feel like you could have looked to him more as a team? What'd you sense as far as the way his shot selection changed through the fourth and overtime?
Yeah, I think I've been in those situations, and my number was called, and I took the shots, and I tried to make the plays. Dub was amazing tonight. Sure, he probably could have touched the ball a little bit more because of how he had it rolling. If I also make those shots, it's not even a discussion, so it's like it's a make or miss game. But I guess the way it played out, Dub hit the shots on.
Shai, over here, sorry. Your coach was saying before this, you guys are in the process of becoming a great team, and one of the steps will be rising to the challenge of this. What do you need to see in Game 4? What do you need to do in Game 4 to kind of get back momentum? And what did you do well today?
I think just close the game. Like, this is 3 games in a row we've had control of the game late into the game, and 2 of them we've let slip. So I think whichever way we can, find ways to close games better.
It felt like for the whole game, well, for parts of the game, they had a boxing one on you, and you're used to seeing a lot of pressure. But in the fourth quarter and overtime, are there things that you can do differently? Maybe the team can do differently to get you easier, simpler shots in that half court?
Yeah, for sure. They did a good job of, like, zoning up, crowding me. It's what it's going to come down to, and we have to fight for. In those possessions, we have to fight for space and use our pace to get better shots. Like I said, I got some, and I thought I know I can make, and they didn't fall. But that's not an excuse. Myself for sure could have got better looks. Now, what the answer to it is, I'm not sure, but that's what film's for, and we'll go back and look and try to be better for the next one.
Shai, obviously the matchup between Lou and Jamal has been really physical all series. And in the locker room, Lou and Alex were both saying that they felt Jamal was a little bit more physical or aggressive just in coming off screens and getting into her body a little bit. What did you see from him tonight in terms of that aggressiveness that might have been different? And how different are they when he is that aggressive?
I'm not too sure. I honestly, he's a good player. And when you play against good players, you want to make them uncomfortable. Now we have great defenders, but yeah, I'm not too focused on that right now. But he's a good player, and when players are comfortable, it's not good, and you have to make them uncomfortable. But we have guys in the locker room that do that for a living and are the best in the league at it. So we should be good going forward.
As you're walking off the floor, you had a big smile. What's going through your mind at that moment?
Some fans were taunting me, and I know how the game goes. I know how life is. It's easy to taunt, and when you're up, and I don't ever want to show them that I'm defeated or mad or anything like that. Nothing's written. The series is not over, and we have a lot to be optimistic about. I didn't perform the way I did down the stretch, but I have an opportunity in the next game and the next game after that to make up for it, and I'm optimistic about it.
Down the stretch, what's kind of the balance between, obviously you've made a ton of, you make a living making tough shots, but taking tough shots versus, J-Dub's got it going, maybe trying to get him looks. How do you kind of try to strike that balance when clearly you are the focus of their defensive game plan?
Yeah. It's honestly, the way I see it is like, you live or die by your decision. And tonight I died by my decision, and it just comes with the game. Like you said, I've been in a position and made tough shots and got a pat on the back after a game, and I'm willing to take it on the chest when I don't make the right play or miss the right shot or whatever it is. It comes with the game. It comes with the territory.
Shai, guys in the locker room were saying that it felt like, from what they remembered in the fourth and overtime, that you guys as a team could have moved more and they felt like they could have freed you up more. Like, what does that look like to you, and why do you think that maybe stopped late?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know. But I don't think it was that. I think it was just me, to be honest. I could have been better in those moments. I know it's a make or miss game, but a lot of them should have been makes instead of misses. But it's the game of basketball, ups and downs. You can't. I've said this in the past two games. You got to flip the script and get better for the next one. You can't relish on the last one, no matter what it looks like. It looks like a blowout or it looks like a tough loss. You got to be better for the next one. That's all that matters.
Shai, after game one, you talked about being really excited to see how this team responds. You're sort of in a similar situation now where you're down one game. Is it any more comforting to know that this team has that in them to respond the way that you guys did in game two? Obviously, you can't game plan for a 40-point win, but just knowing that it's in there.
Yeah, we've had different tests all year, and there's no group of guys I trust to answer the call more than the guys in the locker room. And I'm very excited for the challenge. It's never easy trying to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, and we know that, and we have to rise to the challenge, and we have an opportunity to do so in Game 4.
Anyone else?